It's a very general topic that in every company, what is a build and deployment process? A lot of people they are confused about, especially for people they are not into IT and they are totally confused that Naveen, what is? They always ask that Naveen, what is build, what is deployment, what is continuous integration, and all such stuff. So this is like very important, guys, just to know about that. What exactly, how exactly these things works. So that's why like I thought we should create a proper discussion on this topic because this is really important, and this particular kind of topic it's very common across all the companies. So today I'm going to cover that what is build and deployment, how exactly a dev and QA team they work together, and how exactly QA team is getting the build. They are testing on it, and they are do the testing, and then they raise the bugs again. They are getting a new build. Then once everything is fine, then we deploy one environment to another environment, and then finally on production environment. Okay, so let's see how exactly it works. So first of all, guys, let's see you are in a particular team. Let's take an example of any company. Any XYZ company is there, and you are part of that particular company. This is the company. In that particular company, let's say you're working with some team. Let's say your team name is something payment team, or maybe order team, or order management, or user management team. Some number of different teams are there. In every team we have different, obviously developers are there. We have different developers, we have different QA engineers, right? We have one engineering manager is there, maybe one automation engineer is there, or maybe one scrum master is there. Same thing in different projects, we have to follow the same hierarchy, or same different team members are available like this. So let's see, somewhere you are sitting in this particular team, right? This is team A, and let's see, give some name, that is let's see, order management team, OMS. Okay, maybe you're, let's say you're working in some e-commerce application or e-commerce company, let's Walmart, Flipkart, or something like this. So this particular team is having a number of dev engineers and the QA engineers, and how exactly they are working together. So what they do, that developers, okay, what they do that they create number of features, right? In agile world we say features or user stories. So let's see, these three four engineers are there, they are working together, and then they develop a feature. So what exactly happens that this particular feature, let's see, this is a feature, will be ready over here, right? And the feature name is, let's see, the feature name is F1. This is F1, and some user story will be created in Zira, and then let's see, the feature name is payment via wallet. Okay, this is a payment team, and this feature is they are developing. So once this feature will be ready, what exactly these developers, okay, let's say this is a developer 1, developer 2, and developer number guy 3, they are working together on this particular feature. Once this feature is developed, immediately what happens that they will, okay, they will deploy this feature, okay, on a dev environment. So let's see, there is a environment is going on that is called dev environment. So this is a dev environment. This particular feature will be deployed on this particular dev environment. Okay, guys, so always remember, let's see, this is a dev environment. Dev environment means which is used by developers. Maybe they are running their unit level test cases, or some test developers also they are doing some testing once this feature is available over here. Okay, so they will do some testing and everything over here. QA never does generally a testing on a dev environment. So QA says that, okay boss, we have our own environment. Let's see, this is a QA environment, and on this particular QA environment we have to deploy this feature. So this is called QA environment. So on this QA environment we have to deploy this particular feature. Okay, so what exactly we will do that, now we will deploy this feature from here to on this particular QA environment. So on QA environment feature will be ready. So this dev environment will be used by developers, and the QA environment will be used by QA engineers. QA engineers, they will do their manual testing and automation and everything. So let's forget about automation for team, okay, for time being. So QA guys, they will perform some testing over here, and then they will start testing about this feature. And for this particular feature, there is a specific user story is written over here, and having number of points in this particular user story: point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4. Let's see, 4 important points are written, and on the basis of these 4 points, let's see, you have written some test cases as well. So some test cases also you have written over here in Jira, or maybe some quality center or somewhere. Now these test cases you will execute on this QA environment against that particular feature F1, that payment via wallet. So you will start executing these test cases. You will do component testing. So guys, this is called, so here what exactly you will do, you will do a component testing over here. Component or feature testing. Okay, this type of testing is called component, because a small component they have just developed, and you are doing a component testing or a feature testing. And then you will execute these test cases over here. So once this feature testing is done, you say that okay, yeah, feature is fine. Then there is another environment that is called stage environment. Okay, but before stage environment, let's see, there are a number of other features also going on. Let's see, this is feature number 1, feature number F2, feature number F3, feature number F4. 4 features are there. So what exactly you will do, guys? These 4 features, so let me write properly. So let's see, this is feature number F2. Let's see some order, okay, some order feature, right? This is the second feature. Let's see, I have some other feature like F3. It will be, let's see, some, what do you call it? Let's see, payment through credit card feature. Okay. And one more feature, once payment is done, that we have to generate some invoice feature. So these 4 features they are planning in this particular sprint. Let's see these 4 features. These 4 features one by one will be deployed on each and every environment. On dev environment also it will be there, right? This feature also will be sent to dev environment, and this feature will be sent to the QA environment also. So again, QA team will execute all the test cases for order feature. Same thing, right? The third feature is F3 feature. This feature will be deployed over here, and then this feature will be built and deployed. So what do you mean by build? Build means they will build this particular feature, they will merge it. Merge means they will merge the code, because multiple developers they are working together, and then they will deploy on the specific environment. Environment means some server is running. This is a dev server. Let's see, some Tomcat and database and application servers, everything is there. We call as entire unit that is called dev environment. This is called QA environment. And the same feature, let's see, this F4 feature immediately will be deployed to this particular okay, dev environment, and then this invoice feature will be given to the okay over here on this QA environment. So now on QA environment we have all 4 features. We will test it. We say that okay, yeah, these are the 5 bugs or 10 bugs we have raised. They will again fix it, and then let's see, there is a around 5 bugs, okay, we have raised. Bug number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 bugs. These 4-5 bugs, let's see, they will fix it, and again they will provide on dev environment as well as okay on QA environment also. And the QA team, obviously they will test it on QA environment. They will test that all these bugs have been fixed or not. We realize that okay, on this QA environment, after fixing the bugs and all the features are done, we realize that okay, now this feature is absolutely working fine. All these 4 features are absolutely working fine. Now it's time to deploy all these features on the next environment. So next environment is not your production environment. Most of the companies, they will have the next environment is, guys, stage environment. This is just a replica of production environment. So on a stage environment, all these features. So right now, how many features we have? We have feature F1, F2, F3, right? Right like this. This is F3 and F4. All these 4 features, guys, and along with all these bug fixes. Okay, these bug fixes also will be there, and all these things will be deployed on stage environment. So now what will happen? Now we will move everything from QA environment to stage environment, right? Now in QA environment, we have all these 4 features. Obviously, all these 4 features will be deployed, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And all the bug fixes also done over here. Now we will do a regression testing on stage environment, guys. Okay, in 90% companies, they will do the regression testing on stage environment. So here we will do feature testing on QA environment or component testing, but on a stage environment, we will do a regression testing. Okay, we will do a regression testing. That maybe why? What do you mean by regression testing? We will do regression testing means we will check it because of merging the new features or fixing of the bugs. We have deployed the new features on this stage environment, and on a stage environment, existing feature is already there. So maybe after introducing these new bugs and new features, maybe there are chances that other features are not working, or maybe some other features got impacted or something like this, right? So we will do a complete regression testing over here. On this regression testing, we will found, let's see, number of bugs, we will fix it, and again we will deploy on all these environment, dev, QA, and stage environment. And when we see that yes, on stage environment testing is completed, and then total bug now is equal to 0, or maybe some known issues or known bugs. We say known bugs are there or known defects are there. Once this thing is done, then what we do, we deploy everything on production environment. Production means live environment. So this is a live environment we call prod environment, or production, prod, live. All these things are common terminologies. Okay, this is prod environment. On prod environment, what exactly we will do? We will deploy all these features from here to here on the production environment. So on production environment, once the deployment is done, we will do any testing over here? Most of the time, no. But if you really want, we can do a basic sanity, very basic sanity, or a smoke testing. We can do it over here. A smoke test we can do that, yes, after production, this is working fine or not. My app is working fine or not. My application is running, at least login and other things are happening or not, because this is a live production. The moment you push the code to the production, now this environment will be used by the customer, the actual customer which are available in the market, right? Let's take an example of Uber or Ola, right? So Uber, they are developing some feature. Immediately it will be notified. App will be updated automatically, and the new features will be displayed on the app. So immediately, you and me, like we are the original customers, we will be able to see the new features. So quickly, what exactly we will do? We will do a basic sanity. If in basic sanity we find that okay, some major critical issues are there, or application is not behaving properly, we will revoke this thing immediately. Now there are some strategies are there. Let's see. Initially, I'm just sending this feature only for 500 customers, or 1,000 customers only, or in a specific region only. Let's say in India, we are just sending all these new features in Bangalore location or in Delhi location only. So location wise also you can deploy the features on production. So there are different strategies are there, but let's not talk about it. So guys, these are the 4 major environments are there. We have dev environment, which is used by developers. We have QA environment, which is used for component testing or the feature testing. Then we have the stage environment. This is for what? This is for regression testing. Okay, just a minute. So this is for regression testing, and then we have okay, prod environment, that is for only and only for basic sanity. If it is allowed, if business says, then only we will do that. Otherwise, we will not do any testing over here. Right. Now, so how exactly this build and deployment is happening? So now the tool is coming that is called okay Jenkins. This is called continuous integration. Through Jenkins we will use. Jenkins will use your build, it will build your project and deploy. Okay, it will deployment will happen with the help. Jenkins. So this is called CI Jenkins build and deployment process. So we will create a pipeline. This entire code, okay, developers, they are working together, and this entire code is available somewhere on the Git repository. So these guys, whatever the feature, payment via wallet or order feature and credit card feature or invoice feature, the entire code will be maintained somewhere in Git repository, right? They will merge the code with the master branch. Now what is master branch? So guys, this is the main feature branch, okay, in Git repository. I created my feature F1. Let's see, this is feature 1. Feature 1 will be merged with this master branch. Then this feature 2, then feature 2 will be merged with master branch. And then feature 3 will be merged with the master branch. And then feature 4 will be merged with the master branch. So this is the main branch which is already there, okay, in production. So we will merge all the features with master branch. Now master branch will be having all these 4 new features. Once all these 4 features are merged, QA will be involved at every stage. So let's see, this feature 1 is immediately merged. Then we will do a feature testing. Same thing, we will do a feature testing over here as well. Same thing, we will do a feature testing on this point. So 4 times QA will do a testing, okay, once all the features are, okay, merged respectively. Once all the features are done, then we will do a complete regression testing on this particular branch, because this particular branch will be deployed on production, right? So all these things are happening through CI process, continuous integration Jenkins processes there. So Jenkins will merge the code, okay, I mean through build and everything. Jenkins will create the build, it will create a jar file or war file, it will deploy the code on dev environment automatically. The moment we deploy the code on dev environment, then we will do deployment on QA environment, then we will do a stage environment and sanity, like this. Now one last thing guys, very important I want to cover. Let me create a new diagram. This thing you need to understand that what is happening through Jenkins. So what we do that, let's see, this is my code, right? All the features F1, F2, F3, F4 I have developed, build it, merge it. Now this entire thing will be deployed on dev environment. So this is my dev environment. After dev we have QA environment, then we have stage environment, and let's see, then we have production environment. So let me quickly write. Then this is my code, whatever the code base we say, let's see, code base. This is my code base, will be deployed on dev. This is my dev environment. Then this is my QA environment, okay, this is my stage environment, and this is my prod environment, right? In some companies might be, if you heard about that, dev is also called alpha environment, okay. QA is also called, okay, alpha or maybe feature environment, something like this. Or stage is called beta, and prod is prod always, right? So naming convention will be different like this, but in most of the companies you will see that dev, QA, stage and prod like this, okay. Now what we have to do that, this is the code base. The code base will start from here. Automatically through Jenkins it will be deployed on, the build will be created over here through Jenkins job and everything. A Maven project will be triggered and Maven will create a build. So build is happening through Maven and Jenkins together. So let me quickly write, guys, you need to remember all these things and you should know how exactly it is working in any kind of company. So Maven and Jenkins will create a build. So build will be created. Build means a jar file or a war file if it is a web application. It is a backend application, then jar will be created. It's a war file will be created for React.js or AngularJS or HTML and everything. They will create it together and build will be deployed on dev environment. The moment we deploy, okay, so build and the deploy, okay, build and then deploy on the respective environment. Which environment? Let's see, my first environment is dev environment. The moment we deploy, now we can access that, okay, let's see, http:, so now URL will be of, let's see, it will be like this: https colon double slash, let's see, dev dot uber.com, because this is dev environment. So URL will be like this. And then on dev environment, once everything is done, deployment is done, then we will deploy our code to QA environment. Okay, again Jenkins job will be triggered, and then the build will be given. Okay, where exactly build will be given to the QA environment. Now the URL will be changed to qa.uber.com. Right, a same jar file will be deployed over here. The moment we deploy the QA on QA environment, then we will trigger our automation test cases. Either you trigger your backend automation test cases, so you can trigger your backend automation test cases or front-end automation test cases, right? So let's see, let me write quickly. Let's see your backend test cases, and now you will trigger your front-end test cases also. That is your Selenium test cases, something like this. You will okay, you will run it, or maybe front-end sanity test cases you will trigger over here, that okay, after deployment my features are working fine or not, and you will do a manual testing also on this environment. So this is through automation, and now you are doing some manual testing also over here for the particular feature. Manual test also you are doing. Fine. Once everything is fine, then you will deploy on stage environment. So on a stage environment, you will do a complete regression testing. So here, what kind of testing we will perform? As I told you earlier, that we will do a regression testing over here. Okay. Again, you will do some manual and automation both. Once regression testing is done, and then we will deploy our code on production environment. There we will do a basic sanity testing. So guys, this is called pipeline. Okay, this entire process is, you can see, this is called a pipeline, complete pipeline. Okay, in every pipeline we have different jobs. So Jenkins pipeline means we have different Jenkins jobs. One job is through Maven Jenkins, it will create a build will be deployed. So this is my first job, right? This is my first job. Better I'll write over here. This is my first job, which will create the build and create the build, and the second job will be deploy on. This is my second job, deploy on dev environment. Now my third job is what? Third job is, once everything is done, deploy on QA environment. This is my third job. My fourth job will be what? Execute my backend test cases or front-end test cases. So let's see, these are my four jobs are there. After that, deploy on beta environment. This is my fifth, and my sixth job will be execute your regression test cases through automation. We will provide our Git repository, which is our automation Git repository, which is available in a separate repository in GitHub, and we will integrate with this pipeline. So this is my sixth job. Seventh job is what? Deploy on production environment. So this is my seventh job, like this. So in this complete pipeline, we have, let's see, 6-7 jobs are there in a sequential order, like this. So you will deploy, you will create a build. So what is the process? Create a build, and then deploy, and then test. Okay, always remember these three things, guys: build, deploy, test. Build it, deploy, and test it. Once you deploy in QA environment, you will have to test it. Once you deploy on a stage environment, you will have to test it. Once you have to deploy on production environment, you have to deploy a basic sanity test. Everything is happening through Jenkins. Automation engineers, they are writing their test cases in backend or front end or manual test cases. We are writing and we are executing, okay, through Jenkins. Our automation test cases are getting executed through Jenkins on the respective environment. So that's why we call this 100% CI, continuous integration or continuous delivery. The moment you deploy other feature, automatically it will be a build will be created, deployed, and then tested, and then deployed on production. overnight production or something like this. So 100% CI/CD, sometimes it's not practically good. Let's say some bugs are there and you're deploying on production, right? So you can configure your jobs like this, that okay, any regression testing is getting failed, immediately it will stop the pipeline. It will not deploy in production, something like this. Immediately a notification will be triggered to the respective dev engineer or dev team that okay boss, there is a bug, there is a test case failure, please fix it. Again trigger the build. Once all the test cases are working fine, let's say you have around 20 test cases over here. When all the 20 test cases are absolutely working fine, okay, when all the 20 test cases are passed, then only it will be deployed on production, otherwise it will not be like this. So there are multiple configurations guys you can do like this. So always remember, this is called build and deployment pipeline through Jenkins. And remember this diagram as well, that how exactly we are building up the feature with the help of developer. Then we are writing a test cases, manual test cases and automation test cases, and the build will be created, deployed on the respective environment, what kind of component feature testing we are building, raising the bugs, fixing them together, verifying, and once everything is fine, we will deploy in a stage environment, and on a stage environment we are doing a regression testing, and then we will deploy on production environment like this. Okay, so I really wanted to cover this topic guys, that maybe I can cover some more topics, more advanced topics on these things, because these things you will never find in any books or any blog. These are the very practical things generally we do in any kind of company, either you are working with a product based company or service based or any client. Okay, so always remember these terminologies, this diagram. You can take the screenshot, you can practice, and a lot of people are asking at a time of interviews also that what is your build and deployment, how exactly you're building and deploying. Okay, so don't be scared that okay, what is build, what is deployment, what the hell they are talking about, I'm not aware about, I'm just a Selenium guy or automation guy, and what kind of things they are discussing, and this is like not my job. No, this you should know about it, you are part of the process, you should know how exactly these things are working together. It's very very important thing guys, this is your regular activity in your company. Okay, so that's why like I thought of creating this particular video for you guys. I hope you are liking it, and let me know if you have any questions. You can write your question in the comment section. Definitely I'll try to give all the answers for you guys. Thanks for watching. Please share this video to your friends and colleagues on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere, so that people will get to know what is build and deployment process. Okay, thank you so much guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next session then. Bye bye.